What's up, guys and ghouls? Welcome back to Living Dead Garage, where we bring the dead back to life. Today's episode, we're going to put a much needed exhaust on Beetlejuice, the Hearse. Let's get into it. So if you watched the episode where we took old Beetlejuice here to the Iowa Car Show in Wisconsin, trip went well, but with the combination of rust holes in the floor and the exhaust dumping right underneath our seats, the ride, the 180-mile round trip, was nearly unbearable. We both ended up with headaches. It wasn't good. It made for a long trip, a lot longer than it was. So, I have been eyeing up some mufflers from a company called the Coffin Muffler, and they are out of San Diego, California, I believe. American-made mufflers. They're really cool, and of course, they're shaped like coffins. So what would be a more appropriate set of mufflers to put on Beetlejuice than a set of coffin-shaped ones? Granted, once they're on, nobody's really going to see them, but I know they're there. You guys will know they're there. That's all that matters. Now I'm going to do an unboxing of these mufflers and show you guys what we got. All right, here we go. I am already loving the box and the design. Very well packaged. I have cut the tape off already. See what we got here. Ooh. The best part of bolt-on parts has got to be the stickers. I ordered the extra sticker pack, and it looks like they threw in a set of stickers with the original order. But I'm a huge sticker guy, so I had to get the extra pack. Oh, yes. I absolutely love that. Oh, so cool. I also went ahead and ordered the matching tips that are awesomely branded Coffin Muffler USA. And we're going to leave those stick out of the Hearse so you can see that. So that's the first box. Second box, we got ourselves another muffler, equally as well made, and another matching tip. And they leave this bare metal here for you to weld to, which is very handy. You don't have to do the extra work of grinding off the powder coat. So that's nice. I also opted to order the massive banner for the shop. I got banners everywhere in here. I got plenty of walls to cover, and this is going to be one of my favorites here. And I also got a Coffin Muffler t-shirt. I'll show you the back of it real quick. These t-shirts are really well made. I like the print on them. Seems like they're going to last quite a while. These guys are not sponsoring me at all. I did email them and ask them if I could do an installation video on their product, and they said go for it. I didn't get any freebies, not looking for any freebies. I just really believe in this company. I like their style and their design, and I just wanted to help promote that. So let's get this thing up in the air, and I'll show you what kind of cobbled exhaust we got rigged up for the time being. And we're going to rip that off and start the installation of the Coffin mufflers. Well, here's the cobbled mess I got. As you can see, I had to go full Patrick Bateman to get these to fit on here. These are the old purple hornies. They're just a temporary measure, just to get this thing on the road and be somewhat bearable to drive. It's still loud, but it's not, straight header way up in your eardrum loud. But this was doing good for the time being, but as you can see, there's the carpet and the seat bolts right here, so all the fumes were just crawling up into there and up into our lungs, which is not good. So I have some exhaust parts that I've been stocking up for a while. I want to do this on a budget. show you guys how you can do this at home with some basic tools. And I got the old Hobo Freight special pipe bender over there and a pipe expander, things of that nature, exhaust pipe clamps and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and get these things off, save them for another project, and I'm going to start laying out on the floor how I'm going to do this and go from there. All right. All right, we got those off, and now I'm seeing just a tremendous transmission leak. I did my darndest to make sure this thing didn't leak a drop of anything, and just my luck, typical Hearse fashion, it leaks everything except coolant. I think I nibbed the oil leak in the bud. It was leaking from the valve covers, which were, you know, the sheet metal pressed form, and they always get bent and warped up and being used. They're kind of a one-time use thing. I had to take them off and redo the gaskets a couple times until I got it right. And now it looks like I'm leaking around the darn gasket. Huh, maybe I'll snug those up a little more while we're under here. But I'm going to get this exhaust laid out and get a game plan going here. Alright, here's what I got going here. I got some extension pipes on here coming off of the collectors. And I have the stainless steel X pipe laying around from an old project. Didn't end up using it, so I'm going to use it on the Hearse. I prefer an X pipe. I believe it makes the exhaust sound a lot better. That's just my preference. Since I had it laying around, we're going to put it on here since we plan on keeping the Hearse for a while. So these guys conveniently slide right over the 2.5 inch exhaust. The only thing is these pipes are a little too close. So once we get it, the X pipe bolted on here, it's going to come out somewhere around here, so we'll have to do some more pipe extensions and kind of spread them out so that they tuck up in here. And then my plan is to dump them right in front of the rear tires. I don't want to go through all the hassle of going over the rear axle. There's not much room for that. I mean, I could do it, but we're limited on budget and exhaust parts. So the best plan of action is just going to be to dump it somewhere in front of the rear tire, just enough to keep that Coffin emblem sticking out so everybody knows what we got. Now, in order to get this to work, the way this G-body platform is, this cross member, it has an arch to clear the single exhaust that it came from the factory with, but this is pretty much going to be in the way of this. It's going to have to hang way down, and we don't want that. We're going to be scraping curbs like crazy. So I think I'm going to have to go full Patrick Bateman on this one as well, which is whatever, no big deal. We'll just have to put a nice divot in there. And then this the X pipe should come out pretty level, and we'll most likely put a hanger off of the super strong and sturdy cross member. Not so much, but I'm gonna beat this like a redheaded stepchild and see how she fits. Now, the oil leak kind of worked to our advantage. I was able just to bump it to the cross member and it's self-marked. So I'm gonna add some heat to it and beat her down with the hammer and test fit her. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and burn my fingerprints off. Oh, like we need a hair more. All right, I made a little bit of an adjustment. Okay. That's pretty good. Ow. Oh, that felt great. I just walked right into the cross member, so head injury 1 of potential 42 today. Great. Forgot my helmet at preschool too, so bear with me. Okay, so here's what we got. We got the X pipe pretty much right where I want it. That side's lined up and connected loosely. As you can see, this extension pipe here needs to be trimmed back probably a good 3 inches to slide into the passenger side. And then it actually lines up pretty good down here. So all I'm going to do is mark this and cut it, loosely slide it all together, and then we will move on back here and see what we're going to have to do to get our mufflers connected. All right, I got her marked up. I'm going to go ahead and simultaneously cut the pipe and destroy my eardrums. I'll go deburr this and see how she fits. All right, let's see how she likes that. Oh, that's promising. Come on, get on there, you. Don't talk back to me. Wow. Quit binding on me. Afraid of that. Come on now. Come on. There we go. Give her the old twist and shout. Okay. On to our next problem I just noticed. Great. So, next issue is we are hitting on the fasteners for our carrier bearing, drive shaft carrier bearing. So, I don't really want to leave that because it's going to be rattling and rolling all the way down the road, and it's going to angle it down more than I'd like. So I'm going to have to go ahead and mark those and go Patrick Bateman on those as well. I'm going to go ahead and do that and then see how she lines up. I added another 12-inch extension piece, and I have this swip swoop piece left over from another project, and this angular right here is going to be just perfect to get that beautiful coffin muffler away from the old D shaft here. So I'm going to use a pipe expander so we can slip that right over here, and then we'll mark it to length so we can get our nice coffin muffler sitting in here real nice. Let's go do that. Alright, this little goddammit right here is the high-end pipe expander you can get from Hobo Freight. It's better than the other ones, the cheaper ones. I'm sure you guys know which ones I'm talking about, which don't really expand anything except your anger and frustration when they blow to a million pieces when you try to expand pipe. This one's supposed to work pretty well, so I'm going to give her a shot. Get this end expanded in here and get the old wrist buster on here and send her. Oop. Hang on to her, bud. Might have to move to the big vise. Will you accept? No. That looks promising. Haha! Wow. Highly recommend this. No sponsorship, but no, one poor man to another poor man. These pipe expanders from Hobo Freight actually do what they're supposed to. Look at that. Almost factory. Go ahead and do this side and get these music pipes singing. Hang on to her, I said. Well, if you ain't gonna listen. Uh-oh. That didn't feel good. Oh. Okay, I see what happened there. Thought I broke the tool. Nope. Whoops. A little too banana sandwich there. That's all right. I can weld that back together. That should fit. We got that goddammit on there. I need to eye up the Coffin muffler. And it looks like if I just hack it off before this elbow, she'll slide on there nice and clear the control arm. It's real handy that it's the toe pincher style Coffin because it'll just clear that. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if we're going to be able to dump in front of the tire. We're going to have to like swoop it back, and then it might interfere with the control arm, which is unfortunate. Now they do make a style where it does the side dump. Thinking back, I probably should have went that route, but even if I got to dump them right before the axle, that's fine. I can always run them over the axle later and utilize the fancy Coffin tips. But I'm going to hack this off and see how she fits. I got that hacked off. Okay. What can I do with that? Man, that's a real bummer. I don't want to have to dump it in front of the axle like that. If I cut it back even further, we're going to be up against the floor and the muffler is going to be hanging low. But with it being so close to the axle, it shouldn't scrape in theory. Pull this out. Something like this. All right, I made an executive decision. I'm going to trim it back further so we can dump right in front of the tire here. And I'm going to cross my fingers and my eyes in hopes that she doesn't scrape. And if she does, well, I'll live with it. All right, let's see how badly I screwed that up. So far, so good. Okay. Think I can live with that. Now I just got to match the other side. All right, I'm going to get the other side mocked up here, and then I'll bring you back in and see how we're looking. All right, I got them both hung. They're a little lopsided. Once we get it tightened up, she'll straighten out. Hanging a little low, but like I said, once we tighten them up, I'll go up a little higher. And now I got to figure out how we're going to dump out here. Be a little tricky, but I'm going to do some digging around. I think I'm going to start putting some clamps on this, get it tightened up. I don't want to bend this tailpipe here and then tighten everything up and then it doesn't fit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and we'll be back. Got the tailpipes figured out. Ain't the prettiest. I had to scavenge through my scraps and find the proper bends, but we were able to get them to dump right in front of the tire, which is what I was going for. And we got our Coffin muffler tip. I'm gonna zip those on real quick, and then I gotta drop the whole thing and finish welding up everything else. We got the tips on. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this exhaust, weld up the seams, throw her back on, and we're gonna hear how this thing sounds. I got the exhaust down. That was a treat getting down by myself. I had the help of my two buddies there, but getting her back up and bolted to the headers is gonna be, we'll see how that goes, but I'm gonna Zeus all these joints together and then we'll throw her back up there, and then I gotta add some hangers by the mufflers here. All right, now that the exhaust is 1.5 million degrees, I'm gonna try and shimmy it back up here. We can get her bolt back on. If I can find my bitch mittens. Stay. Use my noggin here, literally. Oh, this hurts. Ow. Ooh, not a good idea. Pinching the old brain helmet a little bit, but we got her close. Easy. Okay, up it, up and away. Okay. Oh, wrong way. All right. I gotta wrestle these collector bolts back in. Don't know how well that's gonna go. Forget Mr. Gasket. Come on, it's right there. Oh, hamburger, help me. That's gonna be one of them dealios, huh? You're just gonna fight me the entire time. 'Cause I'm almost done. Now that we get that all squared up, we can go ahead and put our exhaust hangers on. Just want to alleviate all the weight from just hanging on the manifolds. Don't really want that. Eventually this exhaust would rattle apart if we didn't have these hangers on. Want to get it just high enough to where it's not going to rub on anything, but we're most likely going to have some rattles and stuff, and I'm going to have to tweak it down the road, but we'll get her on. I'm going to buzz weld these on and then run a fastener up into the body here, and we should be good to go. I got those welded on. Run some hardware into these. We should be good to go. This side can go a little higher. That's better. Well, the exhaust work fabrication ain't the greatest, but the mufflers look amazing along with the matching tips. I sprayed all the welds with some silver high temp engine paint. We're about ready to drop this thing on the ground and see how it sounds. Alright, got her back on the ground. Tips look really nice. Well, without further ado, let's start this thing up and see how it sounds. Yeah, I like that. I think we'll pull it out of the shop and see how it sounds outside. Oh, I almost forgot the most important part of any exhaust. You gotta put the sticker on or it ain't gonna sound right. Perfect. Well, guys and ghouls, thank you for watching this episode. Check out my friends over at coffinmuffler.com. As you can see, they got really great products made in the USA. Again, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like for more stuff like this. There's plenty more to come. I'm gonna go take this thing for a test drive.